good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
What's greetings, Earth?
Same genius time.
In the demographic I identify with.
I don't believe you murder.
I think an ignorant voter and a non-voter
What he did. He took the military out
are
before
one and
he
the
took
same.
the civilians.
Same
Who does
genius
that?
channel.
Under his watch.
What
Know
has he
something,
done
bro.
about police reform in this country? Nothing.
Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to Unsolicited Genius. I am your curator, Carlton Ennis. I am joined today by the belated birthday boy, Craig Lindo, a global traveler that is out of place in no place, Mo Lotfi, and a very special guest, a Texas lady with a golden voice, Akela Renae. On today's show, we will react to the reactions of the State of the Union, NFL free agency, and Method and Mary's Love Lullaby. We hope to give you something to ponder. What up, lady and gentlemen? How are y'all doing on this lovely day?
I'm great.
I'm
You're
trying
great.
to figure out what the hell Amish Craig is doing.
One day stronger, baby. One day stronger.
Just one
That's
day?
it. One day stronger.
One day,
at a
2
time.
day? All right.
Huh?
I said, all right, that's fair. I'll take that. One day at a time.
One day at a time, homies. That simple. I'm one day stronger. Everything else is whatever.
Well, with that, what's on your mind, Uncle Mo?
Nothing, man. Just chilling. Been following the free agency, keeping up with the election. So not too much going on over here, brother.
All right. How about you, Brother Craig?
It might come back to a off mic personal conversation we had. See, I am still mind blown by the watering down and withering of the power of the spoken word. I hate it. It annoys me. Words like love and friend and a whole bunch of others mean almost nothing anymore. And I'm confused because I'm from a different generation. And it makes me want to be even more reclusive, which to what everybody's trying to explain to me is counterproductive. Yeah, I get it, but I don't want to play by the new rules. So what I'm supposed to do?
So let me ask this question, because you brought this up before. Where are you receiving, seeing, experiencing these words, and where's the source of the devalue?
The source, I'm not smart enough to figure out yet, and I want to be transparent in saying that. Okay. One of the drivers of the deterioration and devaluing, I would put on each form of media. And I guess the newest one is the easiest to blame, social media, but whatever, in terms of the watering down of things like friend, love, like, etc. And just in the general lexicon, words are watered down. Promises, look, I quote my mama, Sharon Lindsay, a promise is a comfort to a fool. She has not been proven wrong yet. I'm going to hold back on that for a later conversation we probably going to have. But I'm just saying, me adulting out here, I am struggling with the watering down of words and their meanings. Things that were solid 100 are now just platitudes. Like, for real? I'm struggling with that transition, dog. Like, I'm just saying. That's still on my mind from that last time I brought it up.
Well, that's fair. I mean, you live your life. There's only one man that walks in your shoes, and that's you. So if that's how you experiencing, I appreciate you sharing. So welcome to the show, Akela Renae.
Hey, thank you.
You gotta follow that. But I ask you, same question. What's on your mind?
I have a lot of questions with that, but we'll move on.
I'm here. What's up?
We'll come back to it because
Okay.
Yeah, my only thought is that when you use those words with others, how much more do you stress the meaning of them? If they're platitudes now, right? So when you stress to someone, hey, I love you, do you put more emphasis on it so it's not taken as a platitude? But You don't have to answer that now.
I would love to, but okay, keep going.
No, answer it. We don't have nothing
okay.
to do. We don't have nothing to do. Go ahead, answer it.
No, scarcity increases value. I don't like it ain't used everywhere. Just like not every, yeah. Just like my code switching. Not everybody's entitled to it. The hell? So that's how that works. Like, it's like you remember back in the day, it was the hip hop fan that was the backpacker. You know what I'm saying? He probably had a composition book like this, and he probably was born in the Gen X era and wrote down the lyrics of his favorite rappers in a composition book that looked like this. Yeah, like it's kind of that. I still try to value it as much as possible and try not to waste my syllables.
Okay. So it means more.
Yeah, scarcity increases value.
Okay, I like that.
Business 101. I ain't a business major, but I remembered that.
It worked.
It was elective, but I remembered that. Like, I ain't no front.
But I feel like you can't, I feel like I'm putting on my Carlton Ennis coaching hat right here.
I
Y'all
love
should check
this.
out my dog, Carlton Ennis. I feel like Carlton, if he was coaching you, would tell you can't let the world make you jaded towards love. Like love is a powerful thing, man. And I was actually in a lecture where a lady was saying love is not an emotion. Like it's not an emotion. And when I tell you boys I love you, at least from one person, Craig, it's genuine. It's
Exactly.
definitely genuine when I say it to you. So I'm not gonna let the things that happen in the world mess with my perception of what love is when I do feel blessed to have plenty of love around me in my life. From people just outside of my wife and my kid. Now, does the world wear me out sometimes and have me skeptical of people? Absolutely. But I feel like, Carlton in his coaching would tell us we can't let those things become our reality and ignore the actual love that we have in our world. Carlton, did I do good?
Man, you know why I appreciate that, Mo? Because before we got the show started, it's been a little while since Akela and I caught up. And by the way, she and I got episodes out there to our listeners. So scroll back, listen back. We've done this, before. But I'm deep in the entrepreneurial journey, and that comes with its highs and lows. But the one thing that I'm attached to is that I'm where I'm supposed to be. So to have, whether they're my words, your words, based on the words that you and I've exchanged, reflected, directed, it gives me confirmation. So, kudos.
I'm listening.
I love all of y'all. And I mean, I will tell you, I don't know what platitude means. I was getting ready to Google it. The show is called Unsolicited Genius. It ain't got nothing to do with, how the brain follicles work. But I will be adding that to my SAT study guide. Unless, so
Carlton is potted right now.
Carlton, it's a word that means that something has been used.
Off right now.
It's something that means that it's a word that's been used too often to hold meaning any longer.
Yeah.
It's been used so often.
I blame Drake for that. I think I blame Drake for that. Drake did that. Nah,
really?
But I hear you loud and clear, Craig. And like Mo said, I think true, not let the world jade you, but I think you bring an awareness to it. You're aware of it. You experience it. You encounter it. So all's fair in the art in the what is it?
Look,
in life, love, and war.
And look, I'm not even debating the jaded thing. It just changes how you filter what you hear /see.
Okay. Yeah.
I ain't debating it, but it would be irresponsible not to filter.
That's fair.
And like we talked about last time, man, I feel like just words are powerful tools that that people do at times take for granted. You know, the words and the things that people say, you know, are impactful. They do have meaning. So, you know, I don't want to be jaded, Craig. I want to approach the world and people with an optimistic point of view until they show me they're an asshole, then we'll adjust accordingly. But until you show me that, I'm going to assume the best in you. Like
That's
today,
fair, bro.
I'm fortunate enough to meet Akela. This is my first time meeting her, and I'm assuming the most wonderful things about her as a young lady. You know, I'm not going into it with, and this is after I realized she was a Cowboys fan, and I'm still assuming the best of her.
Look, man. The curator of the show, I've known him since we were listening to MC Hammer albums on cassette.
I tried to get me some pants.
I was gonna bring it up, but okay.
I went as baggy as I could get out of Marshalls. I got as baggy as I could get out of Marshalls, man. I got as baggy as I could get.
If you're coming in on that recommendation, you are Gucci, Louis, and every other fashion house out there. You're good.
Awesome.
Well, so to talk about booty holes, to talk about words mattering, we had the State of the Union last week, and so on our last episode, we gave our predictions, some of which, at least mine, I can eat some of my words, put some hot sauce on it. I like it spicy, but we had the State of the Union. And there's a lot that was in it, a lot that surrounded. So I'm curious as to you all's reactions, not just to the content itself, but also to the reaction to the State of the Union. And I'll open up with our guest, Miss Akela Renae.
Sure. You know, I wasn't going to watch it. I really wasn't. Although, you know, adulthood was pulling at my heartstrings to be an adult and go ahead and watch it and see what was going to be said. So I watched it. I will say I enjoyed it. But I got nervous at some points when Joe was going off script. I was like, oh, don't mess up. Don't, please. Okay, he's back now. You know, addressing the folks in the audience and whatnot. I was like, don't, just stay on script, because I was worried about what he was going to say. More so worried about what others would say the next day, you know, a flub here or there. But he actually did pretty good. Can I say I was surprised? It's not really good, but
I was surprised.
I'm glad he didn't flub as much as I thought he would, as you know, when you could tell he was going off script.
Uncle Mo?
I was shocked.
In a good way or bad way?
Let me begin. I was shocked that he was even awake. I didn't think he could make it to 9 o'clock to deliver the speech, much less stay awake through the whole speech. That was one.
You're wrong for that.
That's shocking to me. Huh?
You're wrong for that.
Oh, man, I didn't even. Craig, before I get started on this, man, you know, we were talking about words having meaning. You know, this is for Craig right here. Craig, when Puffy said take that, he meant that. He meant that, Craig. Now back to our boy Joe. I was shocked, man. I was just like you, Akela. There were moments. Let me say this. I've already expressed my displeasure with these two candidates that are running for president. I just feel like, as a country, I don't realize why we can't have younger, fresher ideas running for the biggest office in the land. But at the end of the day, if I'm forced to choose between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, it's a no-brainer to me, because I just think Trump is an awful human being. I can never get behind that. So even though Biden's done some things that I definitely am not behind either, but I thought he delivered, man. I thought Joe Biden stood there and did what nobody thought he could do, including the Democrats. The Republicans definitely didn't think that was going to happen. I've always felt, and I've used a different word previously on the show that Joe Nane had to edit out, that the Democrats were a bunch of wimps as a party.
It's a
And
better
Joe
word. That's a
Biden
better
stood
word.
up there. Yeah, I used a different word. And Joe Biden stood up there and he had receipts. He had receipts, y'all, of the things that he has done and delivered on. And he emphasized those points and he hammered home those points. And even like when you said he got off track with the clowns that I want to talk about that too, real quick, man. It's
But
embarrassing.
hold on. Before you go, we'll come back to that. Craig, did you have any initial reactions to just Biden's portion of the State of the Union? Because we will talk about the clown behavior during and after.
Okay. Then I would like to go ahead and refer back to the quote I gave earlier from Miss Sharon E. Lindsay, my mama. A promise is a comfort to a fool. I take all these speeches with that in mind. You're over promising me because I've been an adult for 20 plus years now.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, King.
20 plus
I
years.
clearly understand that you're getting up there to overpromise, and later on, based on my anecdotal empirical experience, you're going to underdeliver.
But see, Craig, that's the thing I liked about this speech,
promise
Craig,
and delivery. There's always been delta and dissonance between promise and delivery. Always.
But
always.
Craig, that's the thing I think I enjoyed
like,
about this
always.
speech.
So you selling me these promises. It's a comfort to a fool. And you sell to various industries. And that's real nice. And especially to mine with education. Look, your wife is supposed to be in education on your first term. What happened? I felt nothing.
Okay.
So whatever, man. Like, look, you look good, bro.
Always
that's like Mike Tyson right now getting ready to fight Jake Paul. His old ass looking good in them training videos. He's looking great in them training videos. I hope his 58-year-old behind, because he's gonna be 58-year-olds when he actually fights. Look, I was born in my date is a Gen X date. I don't know if I could process seeing Mike Tyson take even in an exhibition to this dude right here, but we can get to that later.
He's gonna knock Jake Paul out. I think. I want him to.
I would hope so. I would hope so. And it's gonna be here in Dallas too.
Yeah, that's right. Mike fought Roy Jones to a draw. Mike fought Roy Jones to a draw. So I think Jake Paul could get knocked out. I wouldn't want to do nothing near Mike Tyson in no boxing ring, whether he's 58, 48, 38, 78. But
I only want to hand him his water. That's it.
We digress.
And Akela, so far, my little quote, adulthood is overrated, bro. But okay.
Yeah, on so many levels.
You referred that. I just want to say it's been overrated.
Oh, about watching. Yeah. I'm over bills.
And again,
I'm over all that.
That's Amish Craig sounding jaded, but whatever.
Well, so
go ahead, Carl.
Well, so one, adulthood might be overrated, but we got to do it. So we in it. We here. Craig, I just wanted to clarify, well, not even clarify, but just emphasize how you see it is how you see it. I think I think we've talked politics enough on this show to know where you sit in regard to the two aisles, and so you call it how you see it. And for me, I don't know that I didn't even listen for content or context. I simply was wanting to see if Joe Biden made it through. I wanted to see if he was able to deliver a speech. I wanted to see if he could be coherent throughout. Now,
respectfully, it sounds like your bar is low.
It is. No doubt about it.
I know it
is. No, I know it is.
But would you say your bar is low because of what the media and how the media has portrayed him, or would you say your bar is low because of what you've seen yourself?
That's a hell of a question.
My bar
I'm
is
glad
low
she's asking
because
you.
it's the United States politics. You know, my bar
Okay,
is
so
low
not about
because
Joe himself.
yeah, my bar is
Joe,
low
Joe
because of
had moments
politicians.
before this speech where he didn't look like a coherent individual anymore. Like he really did. He had
Not like Mitch
moments where-
McConnell, though, right? It hasn't been that bad.
That's the lowest of the bar, though. Mitch McConnell completely froze. Mitch McConnell looked like he needed to be rebooted. Like he looked like a computer whose screen froze.
Oh, you trying to blow on the car?
Like that is the lowest of the bars is Mitch McConnell. Like Carlton, I feel you though. Carlton, at one point, I was like, after the first 5 minutes, Carlton, I felt he did so good. I was screaming, just end it now, Joe. End it now. It can only get worse from here.
Seriously.
But then he kept it up for
The
the
bar's
whole
in
time.
hell.
And Craig, what I would like to say in his defense, even though I don't feel like coming to his defense, is that is what I liked about the speech. I didn't feel it was about promises. I feel it was about things he's done, and he highlighted those things. Like, yeah, though there was actual things that he's done. And for example,
there
for
were
education,
receipts.
man.
Yes, I can see receipts.
How many loans have been forgiven under this man's administration that are so beneficial to a great deal of people? For clarity, I am 8 payments away from getting my loans forgiven. Thank you, Joe Biden. And we know other people that have gotten their loans forgiven. Like that's part of the educational system too. If we can get people educated without them being in massive debt when they're done, it gives them a tremendous opportunity to progress in their life in, as you said, Craig, this bullshit adulthood that we're experiencing now. So I thought, I don't think he could have done better, man. I thought it was one of the better State of the Union addresses we've heard in a long time, to be honest with you. I thought it was not just like Carlton said, the bar of like him being able to stay awake or, knock on wood, like him not dropping dead during the speech. I thought he really stood there, showed some character, showed some personality, showed some gumption that he is up for the job, even though I'm still skeptical. I won't lie to you, Akela, because this man's going to be like 84, 85 if he wins this election. Yeah. Right. And I feel like, those people should be enjoying their grandchildren somewhere, living out their last days, relaxing, not having the most stressful position in the country.
Well, I will say this.
Go ahead, Akela,
go real quick. I agree with what you said, Mo. Democrats have not done a good job at sounding the alarm of the things that they have done to improve, right? Republicans clearly have a playbook and they're running it well.
They're the masters of propaganda.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the things that we are seeing right now have been laid out years ago. And it's just now coming to fruition. We're waking up to the fact of all of the things that they've said in the past that they were going to do. Democrats don't toot their own horn well enough. And I think he did an awesome job of doing that. But to your other point, Ply said it best in one of his posts the other day when he was like, they're not worried about Joe Biden. They're worried about what's going to happen if he doesn't make it and then who becomes the president. It's not about him. It's about Kamala coming behind him as vice president if he were to expire.
You saw Vice President Harris was standing up cheering harder than anyone because she realizes Joe ain't running for himself. Joe's running for her chance to be president. Like that was like she needed
Let something
him to
happen. She's gonna be president,
so
and that's
become president.
Yes,
eventually one day. Because, and I hate to say this, I don't want to talk about a man's life, but that feels like it's inevitable. It feels like it's inevitable if he wins.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, we're not.
This is where I sound like a jerk.
We're not wishing death upon nobody, but it's the
wherewithal.
It's the consciousness. His capability.
But we're not
to
silly.
Do the job.
We're aware of his age.
Yeah. Go ahead, Craig.
How old is he?
I got a question.
He's 81.
Okay. All right.
So that being said, if the unfortunate were to happen and Sister Harris was to move into power, yo, you better do a heavy review on her protection detail and then double it.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What? I think I know what you're saying.
Come on,
Say
dog.
what
Talking
you're
about
saying.
the Secret Service.
like,
He's talking about people who want to
Are we
kill
gonna
her.
act like we don't live in the United States of America?
I mean, just think about when Obama won and when him and his
Instant
family walked out. It was just, I was so nervous for them when they came out on stage after he won, because I was like, they're getting ready to take him out right now. They're getting ready to take him out.
But
Yeah.
I'll be honest with y'all, man. I also
instantly
have,
scared. Like, and it sounds wild. I'm sorry, but
I
that's
had concerns for Biden after he won this election because these Trump supporters are loony.
Wild. Yeah.
Are loony.
Very much so. Yeah.
All right. I just want to let the record reflect that we did get a Plies quote on Unsolicited Genius. I don't think that's happened.
Hey, man.
I think this is episode 55. I don't think
Wow.
Plies has been
His
represented.
Instagram
Plies out there
page-
doing it.
Do it.
Plies
His
out there
Instagram
doing it.
page is definitely worth a follow if you're not
Yeah, Plies is out
following.
there doing it.
The brother has excellent insight.
Yeah.
I enjoy his page, man.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. All right. So so Biden showed up. He spoke to the record. He did do a handful of promises, but then that third aspect we talked about a little bit, we alluded to, but he shot back at the Republicans. In particular, I was going to say our favorite the one that we favorite to disdain, or whatever she is, whatever category she falls under, but MTG. She showed up. She dressed up for the occasion.
She should have been put out.
She let her light, for lack of a better description, let her light shine. She was not the only one. There was another heckler. I didn't even get to see his face, but I did see a gentleman get escorted out, assuming that he's a congressman. So what are your thoughts, reactions to, we're not going to the reaction yet. I want to leave that, want to focus on that separately, but your reaction to the behavior during the State of the Union. Mo?
Disgust. Dog. Where in society is it acceptable when someone's giving a speech for you to just blurt out whenever you feel like it and yell like a child?
It's not.
To garner attention for yourself and your political agenda, because that's what they're doing it for. Like it's being an attention whore, and they're trying to garner attention for themselves. Man, I know Carlton doesn't like when I say things like this, but you know, I mean this from the bottom of my soul. I truly do. I hate that lady. I hate that lady with a passion, man. The sight of her face just makes me like, because I feel like she's such an ugly human being on the inside that it just irks my soul, my nerves. Even if you disagree with the man, and that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem if you disagree with him. That is not how you conduct yourself properly as an adult when someone is giving a speech. You can have your time afterwards when the media is asking you questions, and you could say he's a liar, and you could tell us how much you dislike him and all of that. But to yell these things while he's actually giving the speech, it's just beyond inappropriate, man. And I give him a lot of credit, man. I felt he held his nerve well, and even was able, the part where I was impressed with him, because I didn't think he had this in him, is he was able to turn it into like lighthearted moments where people actually got a laugh out of it. But it's just like, these are elected officials that are representing us in Congress acting like they have no civility. Like they have no civility at all. It's just, I don't know. It's embarrassing in a lot of ways. Like I wonder what the world thinks of us as a country when they see something like that.
Well, you know, you asked where is it appropriate in United States Congress. I mean, when they allowed it to happen to Obama, that and happened unchecked, unpunished, it has now become the norm. MTG walked in ready for some action. You know, she walked in like she had just finished listening to 8 Ball MJG. Like she walked in ready. She had on the hat, she had on the shirt, she had on the loud red, you know, it's loud red, all of that. And you could see her looking, because they showed a picture of Biden kind of egging her as he was walking in, which seemed to take forever. But as he was walking in, shaking hands, she looking to be looked at. So, but I'll, you know, give you your space. I hate the hating, but I will, you know, I have a perspective on that, and we'll come back to it. So Akela, what were your thoughts related to hers and even others' behavior during the State of the Union?
It's just disrespectful. I mean, there's no two ways about it. That's not how civilized people behave. You wouldn't do it at church, right? It's the same thing. You give respect to the speaker. She should have been escorted out, just like they told her she should have been, because she wasn't dressed properly. But they allowed it. And that's the unfortunate part, because I would have loved to see that. And she was like, what did she said she told them, try to escort me out. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, she was ready. She was ready.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she's been voted into office, but the things that she's done, you know, where's she from? Georgia, right? I wonder if
That's
they'll
who
vote
she
for her.
represents. Yeah.
If they'll vote for her again. I'm
from
so
Dallas,
over her.
Georgia.
Oh,
I promise you, she's from Dallas, Georgia.
I'm so over her. And the person that they escorted out was the father of a soldier who was killed, who was yelling out. Yeah. And so, but it's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful. I ain't got no room for it. None.
Craig, your thoughts?
If birds fly,
So many choices on booking.com.
Sorry.
and fish swim, what Karen gonna do?
If birds fly and fish swim, Karen
What's
is
a
going to
Karen
Karen.
going to do?
Karen going to Karen.
Karen
go
Karen,
Karen.
yeah.
Okay. Like,
Amish Craig, where do you get this from, man?
In his dome, man. He keeps saying,
Like,
he just
where?
pulled out his composition book, man.
Yeah,
It's
like,
in his
was this
dome.
in
I
your
love it.
composition book?
No, he
I love it.
freestyled
now this
that
one,
one.
I wish
He
I could write it
freestyled
down.
that
I
one.
can't even find my friggin' like a lot of nerds. I'm also scatterbrained, so my actual notes from the State of the Union, I can't find them. This I'm not looking at my notes, so that's another thing. But I thought it was great how the say her name backfired, because
Didn't it?
that is usually something that you find people with blue ties or people that support the quote unquote left would be saying to people in power on the right when injustice is going on. Say his name, say her name, say their name. So she tried to flip it, and yeah, he said the name and gave a story and an anecdote and shut, like, it was, oh my God. It was, you could say he owned her, dunked on her, whatever little colloquialism you want, but it backfired, fam. Like, say her name. Oh yeah, I'll say her name, and I'll connect my experience with theirs and do all that. That was brilliant politically. At the very least, it was politically brilliant. So, I thought Akela saying that you wouldn't do it in church was also a hell of an observation for the party that claims to be the party of church, and you behaving outside of church rules. Damn.
Clap, clap. She gave you a clap, clap.
That's a
Damn.
Pelosi clap.
Birds fly, fish swim, Karen's Karen.
Oh, you got the
know what?
Pelosi clap,
Hold
clap.
yourself. You ain't about that shit.
Can I do the Pelosi?
And I
Is that it?
appreciate
Is that how you do it? The Pelosi clap, clap. That's how you do it. All right.
I appreciate
All
it.
right. All right. So
Yeah, that's how I see that, homie.
So when I, Mo, to your point, the reason hate, right, as a word, we talk about the importance of words. Hate to me, not necessarily anybody else, especially in the way it gets used, means I would rather see you dead. right? That's what hate is to me. And not saying that that's how you feel, but where I don't give that any level of that energy to Miss Marjorie is because what I also see is a broken individual. To be willing to be an elected official, which gives you a position of power, which means that hundreds to thousands, depending on the size of who you represent, maybe even millions, have said that they're giving their trust to you to represent their interests for their personal well-being. So she's been empowered with a lot, yet she's attached herself to the mindset of Donald Trump, attached herself to him, and her mindset is such that it's portraying whatever needs to be portrayed in order to impress him, to show support to him, to galvanize the people who are in that group of Trump supporters. So I think she's a mother. At minimum, she's somebody's daughter. She's somebody's neighbor. So, and she's a human being in that red hat, red coat, loud mouth. And to be on the world stage, of the four of us, if any of the four of us got on the world stage, I already know what the three of you gonna look like. Mo, you gonna have your Italian suit. Craig, your beard is gonna be glistening. Akela, you just gonna be, doing your beautiful thing the way you do it. But I seen you at the conferences, so I know how it go, right? If we're on the world stage, we're going to give the world the best of us, whether we're nervous, whether we're confident, whatever the situation is, we're gonna give the world the best of us. So she's on the world stage and she gives us that. So she's a broken, hurt, insecure, pick any of the low vibrations, right? She's low vibe on the world stage, and she's showcasing herself like a clown. So I feel sorry for her. Now, doesn't mean it's not annoying, doesn't mean that that's not who I want. If I'm in her district representing me, doesn't mean that I don't think she should have been escorted out, doesn't mean that all of that wasn't inappropriate. But instead of hating, I just look at the human and understand that we're all flawed. Her flaws are just being showcased for the world to see. Now, why they keep voting for her, I can't answer that, but that's my reaction specifically to her and those of her ilk. Her colleagues, Ted Cruz, our boy here in Texas, I think his cowardice is always on showcase. The fact that they wore pins to represent the woman that was killed by the migrant is hypocrisy at their finest, because we've had hundreds of children at this point, if not in the thousands. I mean, not even just the kids. If we just talk about innocent people that have been killed by United States citizens inside of our borders. And it's facts to that. It's not conjecture. It's a reality. It's facts. Say all of their names. If you're going to say a name, say all of their names. So clown behavior, but that's who we got. So last State of the Union discussion point. The reaction to the State of the Union. Miss Katie Britt, the kitchen queen. Who wants to go first and sharing that? Craig, your hand went up.
Because mine will
Craig,
be the shortest.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not listening to anybody that talks to me in that voice. I was out of there in 15 seconds.
You didn't like the affect?
I didn't watch the whole thing either, bro. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Dog, nobody actually speaks like that, dog. You're acting. Nobody.
Very
I
much
have been, or I have been on this. I've been on this planet in this existence for 2+ 6 more. Nobody. Like, I appreciate. Look, at least fake authenticity. Golly, oh my,
It was tough.
bro,
Mhm.
It
bro,
was tough.
dog. You know I can't stomach. Dog, I can't stomach that.
Yeah.
I can't stomach that. I was like, I found the mouse. Click. It was a wrap.
Yeah. It was
Who
too much.
next?
It was too much. You said
I
found the
like it
mouse.
was not authentic
You
from the jump.
you watch it on your computer. You said mouse, not the remote.
Yeah. Plus, sometimes I project my phone or my computer to the TV.
Oh,
So
okay.
like
Technology.
like
All right. Just
that
checking.
vibe.
Just checking the tech. Just checking the tech. All right, Akela, what were your thoughts to the kitchen queen, Katie Britt?
Ridiculous. And so I had the volume down low, but I could tell. I sent a text to a friend of mine. I'm like, she's acting, but the affect is what kills me. And I will tell you, I watch the Today Show every morning, and
Mm.
Savannah Guthrie does it well. She does it too. If it's a sad story, she's like, so Carlton, tell me about the time when.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And then the next segment, she's bubbly again. But that's exactly what she did. And I can't stand it. I love how everybody called her out on her fallacies and
Her
inaccuracies.
own party. Her
Yeah.
Twitter was on fleek. If they still say, I don't even know. But her Twitter, the Republicans, they don't say fleek no more.
No.
No cap. The Twitter,
Yeah.
Okay.
her
Here,
Twitter
folks.
her Twitter was hilarious.
Said
She should be embarrassed. She should be embarrassed.
Yeah. I wonder, to be a mom, what her kids are gonna need protection, because that was wild. Uncle Mo, your thoughts?
Man, they should have picked Mitch McConnell. At least that way we could have wondered if our TV froze. Could have rolled with that. Why they picked her, I don't know, man. Like, shout out Scarlett Johansson. Her portrayal of her on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah,
was
yeah,
amazing.
it was good.
It was amazing.
Clap.
The part where she says, "I'm doing this from a kitchen because that's how we'll get the women vote. The women love the kitchen." speaks tremendously of the sexism that's raging through that party. Just a couple of things, man. I'll bring. I want to rebut some of her claims. One, she talks about America's a nightmare because of the crime. Crime is down under Biden's administration compared to Trump's administration. It's down by a lot. Violent crime is down by a lot. I don't like when people bring up things like sex trafficking for political gain. So I thought that part was in poor character on her part. This part, man, where they keep talking about the immigrant that killed the American citizen. Should we rattle off the names of the American citizens that have killed the other American citizens? Right. This is the part where the Democrats, to me, Carlton, need to get bold. If you want to bring that up, why don't we list the names of all the schools that have been shot up by people where Republicans refuse to do anything about gun control? Why don't we do that? Because if you want to say Biden is complicit in that murder because of his border policies, then why don't we list all the children that you've watched get slaughtered in our schools by American citizens because you're determined to protect their right to own a weapon, regardless of their mental
grocery stores, movie theaters,
why don't we
churches,
just list those names?
Hospitals.
I bet you it's more than one.
hospitals, driveways,
I bet you it's more than one.
parking lots,
Churches,
Apartments,
places of worship. We could go on and on, man.
parks, NFL Super Bowl parades,
those
basketball
things
parades.
beyond frustrate me, man. And I wanted to bring this up. Nothing irks me more than hypocrisy. And one of the things that is just beyond annoying to me is what happened with Roe v. Wade, because it's solely a woman's choice what she chooses to do with her body in that instance, in my opinion. But if you're going to tell me that that is a life and that no one has the right to take a life, and that is your stance Okay. Then explain to me why Governor Abbott in your state of Texas just rejected $348 million to feed hungry students during the summer. It's like we care so much about the baby in the womb, but when the baby's here, F the baby. Forget if the baby can eat. Forget if we can't educate the child. They're not willing to do anything to support the child once the child is here, but you're fighting so hard for the right for the woman to not be able to have an abortion. You're fighting so hard for that fetus's life, but once the baby is actually here, you don't want to do anything to support that child and give him a chance at success. It's disgusting. It's just gross. Like, I don't know, man. I'm at a loss for words for that. Like, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. It knows no bounds. They have no shame. They're just, once again, they are the propaganda machine that keeps churning this out. You know, and I think I said this on the show before, Carlton, I don't even think they want to get rid of the immigration problem. This immigration becomes their cheap labor. This is their new sharecropping. This is how they get around having to pay a minimum wage, how to give benefits to people. I don't believe they want to stop this from happening because the Republican Party supports big corporations, big money. This helps them to increase their profits. They're
and like
not
Biden
actually
said,
trying to stop this. The reason why they come out, Carlton, and tell you we're so gun-ho against immigration, they're taking your jobs, is because they know that panders to their base.
Yeah, and then Biden called them out. They had a bill, had opportunity to sign a bill. They didn't sign a bill. Trump wants them to wait till he gets in office so he could take credit for
bringing
it.
it up.
You know, so
they say it's such a big problem. Not only was there a bill, Carlton, it was a bipartisan bill. Both sides worked on the bill.
Right.
Both sides
forgot that
agreed
part.
to the bill.
They
But when
forgot.
it was time to pass the bill, Trump tells them don't do it. You know why? Because Trump wants to use it as an issue against Biden in this election. So for one man, they are willing to put aside what they call the ultimate crisis in this country, these immigrants getting in, and the people that vote for them are still going to vote for them. They're gonna overlook this. They're gonna be like, look, Biden's letting all of them in across the border. When Biden, the Republicans and the Democrats come up with a bill to try to curb the immigration, and they don't do it, so Trump can get votes. When do they ever do anything for the people, man? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is there, not wearing an American flag or a shirt for the American people or saying she's about the people. She's there promoting one man, a false idol, which in any Bible, your Bible, the Quran, what does it tell us? Don't look at man as an idol. Yep. Don't beware of false idols. They are just human beings. They are flesh and bones like you and I.
Okay.
It just,
Pastor Mo. Pastor Mo. You get a Nancy Pelosi clap.
It's sickening, man. Their hypocrisy just annoys me, man, especially when it comes to our children. Don't tell me you're pro-life, but then screw the baby once the baby's here. That's not pro-life. That's cruel.
Craig, you had some.
In the long run, we kind of touched on it in our reaction. And maybe I'm beating an old drum, but the Republican Party is more party than principle. You're going to stick with your party even if it does not align with or compromises your principle. And that seems to be the general thing. We're going to stick with the party even if we're cutting off our nose to spite our face, even if we're doing it to our own disadvantage. So that seems to be, as somebody from the outside looking what's going on over there. And when you talked about immigration issue, that's what came to mind. So that's why I raised my hand.
So, what's interesting on that, and Mo, you used the word shame. So if I were to take a coaching moment, when, those lower vibes, anger, apathy, depression, frustration, agitation, we tend to guilt all those things we tend to want to move away from. We tend to label them as bad things. And clearly they don't feel good. Depending on where you direct their anger, it may not result in it could result in an unfavorable outcome. But all of our emotions from the highs to the lows are indicators. And so shame, although it's not something to sit in, something to stay in, not something to ruminate in, shame is an indicator. Shame says, maybe I shouldn't do this again. Shame says, maybe I made a mistake that I need to apologize for. Shame says, maybe, there's a life lesson in this experience that I can learn and grow from. Don't own it. Don't sit in it. Don't marinate in it. Don't beat yourself up about whatever that thing was. But there's value in those low vibes because they serve as protection. Shame keeps you from making the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again.
I just ran into that.
To have somebody or a group of people seemingly remove shame from their consciousness, you get what you see, what we've seen. And one of the points of the many reactions to Katie Britt that jumped out at me was the perspective of, this is what a dictatorship looks like. And they compared it to Russia because MTG, to your all's point, isn't doing it for the flag. She isn't doing it for the people. She's doing it for Trump. Katie Britt embarrassed herself not for her constituents, not for her state, not for her party. She was talking to Donald Trump, making sure he heard that she is willing to say, be, do whatever he needs her to do, so that however it goes, she has his favor. For MTG to wear a MAGA hat into the State of the Union, where class, if nothing else, historically would be exhibited in that room in that particular moment, class. But she chose to go against that in order to make sure Trump knew she was for him. And there should be shame, but there's not. And on that, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. This is Unsolicited Genius. Welcome back, Unsolicited Genius. What in the sports? All right. I usually defer to my co-hosts, my guests when we enter a new topic, but I am taking curator privilege because my heart,
I'm here for it.
My heart,
Saquon Barkley left the Giants for the Eagles.
My heart, my eyes getting watery just talking about it. I'm gonna have to just tell him it's allergies.
Damn. She having dinner with the op.
So NFL free agency is, we don't say on fleek no more. So what educate me, educators, what am I supposed to say?
Yeah,
what am I supposed to say? If I can't say it's on fleek, it's wild, it's loose, Any other words? I'm gonna just be me. That's what you said.
Yeah,
just be
I would
me.
I would recommend
be
you
me.
like
Just
stick
be
to
me.
whatever old man lingo you normally
Whatever I
roll.
got, just use what I got. All right.
It's gonna sound natural.
Because what it say?
Yeah,
Because I'm
and,
what I'm 2 score.
You don't,
and
dog. You don't
5.
want to come off sounding like Kenny, Miss Britt in the kitchen.
Man, Scarlett Johansson. Listen, Scarlett Johansson, she killed it. And Keenan, I think I'm so happy for him and what he does and where he's had his journey, because the little teacup, and we ain't expect to see him, and he just was crying.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
But so we not good. So that being said, NFL free agency is on, and not to anybody's surprise, if you keep up with the rules of the business game of football, Saquon Barkley is gone. Now, to hear talks about him going to the Cowboys, going to the Eagles, I was like, I just know the universe cannot be that cruel. But the Eagles had the money, they had the need, they got the offensive line. So not only is he gone, we got to play him twice a year. That being said, we made some other moves in free agency that I found to be impressive. We got 2 linemen, one out of Green Bay. We got Brian Burns, made him the second highest paid defensive in
That was a trade.
NFL history. Brian Burns was a trade.
Brian Burns was a trade. You gave up a second round and I think a third round pick for him.
Okay. Well, and we paid him some money on top of that. But
Yes.
I think, I'm a Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm a big fan. I think he's not LT by any means, Michael Strahan. I'm not saying that, but I think a great talent, great athlete that can do it all on the field. So to potentially have them on the field at the same time with Dexter Lawrence, we got, solid play at quarterback. We lost McKinney. I was frustrated with him last season on for several plays in several games, but he is capable. But I'm not in my feelings about that one. So we chose Daniel Jones and we lost Saquon. One of the quotes I learned long ago in my dating days: chase 2 rabbits, catch none. And so
Woo!
you couldn't have both Daniel and Saquon. And so
wait, say that quote again. Can we get
no,
that
I ain't
quote
saying it again. No, you got to rewatch.
What does it
rewatch
mean?
the play.
You
exactly.
stole that
Like,
from
what does
Craig's
it mean
composition book.
exactly?
He had that,
So
got that from Craig's composition book.
the theory is right. You out there living a life, young men. This was a man-to-man exchange and dialogue, and as you navigate the dating waters, the ego, you can get ahead of yourself. And so the thing that stuck with me is, if you enjoy somebody, you like somebody, y'all are vibing, stay there, enjoy it, be in that moment. Because if you hear and hear and hear and hear, it may be fun, it may provide some entertainment in the microcosm of the experience, but at the end of the day, you're gonna end up by yourself. So the quote is, chase 2 rabbits, you catch none. And so Saquon, Daniel Jones, we weren't going to be able to have them both. And I think they attempted to do that going to the last season, but like in dating, know your worth. Saquon knows his worth. So he said, I'm not taking that. I play for y'all. I show up for y'all. I put my body on the line for y'all, which he did. But as a running back, as an athlete, he knows his worth. And he had to go somewhere that was going to choose him. And the Giants inevitably going in the last season had a choice. Do we franchise Saquon? Do we franchise Daniel? Do we pay Saquon? Do we pay Daniel? And they chose to pay Daniel Jones. And
they chose wrong.
So the question, so all of that, all my emotions. Thank y'all for letting me getting out. I didn't cry. I held it together.
Good job.
But I give my Giants a B.
Safe place.
I give my Giants a B because we lost Saquon. Again, him and Odell, the greatest talents, I think, to wear giant blue. Tiki Barber, you know, maybe he top 5, but Saquon in my book was number 1 talent to get drafted by us, to play for us, to ball for us. And it wasn't disagreement, it wasn't underperformance, it was mismanagement. So I can't, I saw somebody gave the Giants, said the Giants won Monday on NFL Network. I won't do that because we also lost Saquon. But as to understand the NFL game, we understand the value of the running back, but it was still Saquon. So I give my Giants a B. Mo, how you feeling about free agency overall? How you feel about what your team
Well, I
did?
love you, man, and I know that's your team, but the greatest talent that ever was drafted by the Giants and played for the Giants is Lawrence Taylor. It's not Saquon Barkley.
Offense, time out.
It is
Offensive
LT. That's why I was
talent.
shaking my
Offensive
head.
talent. I apologize to the
Okay,
Giants
it is
fan.
Lawrence Taylor.
I apologize to the
talent.
Giants fan. I
Thank you,
apologize
Mo.
to LT.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I was like, what is he
Offensive talent.
talking about? He's
Offensive
too.
talent.
I was like, he's way too emotional.
Just offense. But yeah.
You said the 49ers?
Yeah, how you feel about free agency, but specifically,
Wild,
how did your team do?
Some moves that I like before I get into my 49ers, man. Derrick Henry to Baltimore is
They thought he was
wow.
coming here.
Is wow. Jerry Jones ain't do nothing.
Well, they thought he was gonna come here. I guess he bought a house here or something, so that made the news earlier.
Man, the only person that tried out for the Cowboys was Cat Williams when he ran that 4.97 40.
Not funny.
Was that in their facility?
I think it was at the.
Where did he do that?
Like maybe Cat could play for us.
That's not right.
I don't know
That's
where
not
he
right.
did.
That's not
I
right.
don't know what he did, but he had scouts out there. Craig, did you see it?
Jerry Jones was out there with his
I
little
couldn't tell
stopwatch.
what facility it was in.
I don't know where it was. I saw it, but I don't know where it was.
Hey man, that Cat Williams is a funny dude, man. I thought that was a great move. I want to give shout outs. As always, we like to keep the record straight here. To our frat brother and the GM of the Tennessee Titans. I love the moves the Titans made. I picked up Calvin Ridley today as well, so I'm a big fan of the direction that Mr. Rand Carthon has the Titans going in. What other moves did I like, man? I thought Atlanta getting Kirk Cousins was a good move for them. They haven't had a quarterback in a minute.
They got a quarterback.
Kirk Cousins knows how to get paid, boy.
He figured out the
4
matrix.
years, $180 million.
He figured out the matrix.
Kirk Cousins knows how to get paid. I just want to say this, though, about the Atlanta Falcons. And any other team that was in a quarterback quandary this offseason, every last one of you could have had Lamar Jackson last year for a first-round pick. And you're paying Kirk Cousins $180 million when you could have had Lamar Jackson for $220 million. If this offseason just proves that last year they colluded against Lamar Jackson because they wanted to make an example out of him because they don't want to give guaranteed contracts. That to me is just painfully obvious this offseason. Painfully obvious this offseason, man. I like what the Giants did, man. I'm not a believer in paying a running back big money. I would rather, if you ask me, would I rather have Brian Burns or Saquon Barkley? I'm going to take Burns every day because he's going to get me double-digit sacks. And like Carlton said, you put him next to Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence, and you got a little fearsome D-line there that people have to see. The problem for the Giants is the same problem that they had last year. They have no quarterback. You can't trust Daniel Jones. So that's the problem that the Giants have. The Eagles seem to always make good moves in the offseason, even though I hate them. You got to give them props. Who else? What other players were out there, Carlton? Who else changed
A
teams?
lot of running back moves. Your boy from San Diego, I think he's at Washington now. Green Bay, Aaron Jones. So the running back
What was that?
culture.
What? Explain. I wanted to ask y'all about that. Aaron Jones is better than Josh Jacobs to me. Am I crazy?
I mean,
Josh Jacobs is younger, but Aaron Jones is a beast.
He led the league in rushing 2 seasons ago, so maybe they're looking at his ability to shoulder the load. Which for Jacobs, I'm like, man, between how the Raiders use you and what Green Bay might potentially be doing with you, get what you can while you can, because when that decline comes, it comes. But like I say, I focus more the X's and O's on the field, so I can't speak to each contract, salary cap, all that stuff. So I have to assume some of that's built in that. But I do know a couple of Green Bay Packer fans are shocked and disappointed. They're not burning jerseys because I don't think they blame him, but they shocked and disappointed. And the people burning Saquon Barkley jersey, get over yourself. They had a chance. They
just heard that he went to the Eagles.
Look.
It's not about just leaving the Giants.
You got to get the money. You got to get the money?
I mean, you and I are rational.
Not in the same conference. Yeah.
Get your money.
But that's a hated rival, man.
Yeah. What are you going to say no to $1 gazillion?
Watch this. I'll prove it to you. Akela, if Micah Parsons left the Cowboys for the Giants, how would that make you feel?
Woo, come on.
How would that make you feel?
Come on.
Off with his head. We're done.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're done. We're done. We will be
See
done.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My wife is here. We're on the podcast with another Cowboys fan. My wife is a Cowboys fan.
I almost put on a Cowboys t-shirt today.
You see, I put on the hat.
I saw that. I noticed that.
Just for you.
I noticed that. Yeah.
I wasn't even going to do it. OBJ is about to get cut by the Ravens. I'm just giving y'all some up-to-date info.
Come on, retire Giant, OBJ. They come just retire Giant. Take the little bit of money we got left.
Joe Mixon left Cincinnati. The 49ers, man, I like what the 49ers did. We didn't do no big money things, but, back to the D-line, man. We got Leonard Floyd. We picked up a D tackle from the Texans. I'm very pleased with what the 49ers did. The only quarrel I have is I feel like we need some O-line help, which we still haven't gotten, but maybe that's something we're going to address in the draft. So I would give the 49ers a solid B+. I like what they did. I feel like we already have a lot of talent. So do I like us losing Eric Armstead? No, but somebody's got to go because we have a lot of people that are getting paid. So I enjoyed what the 49ers did in free agency. I just want to say, man, the NFL is king. Like, basketball season's coming to an end. Baseball season's about to start. And no one gives a crap about any of those sports because NFL free agency had us refreshing our phones every 5 minutes to see what new free agent went where. I also like what the Steelers did, man, to get Russell Wilson for $1 million. Is a big improvement over Kenny Pickett.
They made the playoffs, right? They made the playoffs.
They had 10 wins with no quarterback.
So, what if Russell sip a little bit of act right, and I think one of the greatest coaches that we've seen coach the game can have influence on some of that. Who knows?
Mike Tomlin is blessed and highly favored, dog. Because how the hell he won 10 games with that quarterback situation?
Who saw it coming? Who saw it coming?
Denver. That Russell Wilson trade, what a disaster, man. They're paying this man $38 million a year. This year, they're giving him $38 million for him to quarterback the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they play Denver, Carlton. So I can't wait to see that game. As Carlton knows, he knows I can't stand Russell Wilson.
What are you
America,
doing?
I can't stand Russell Wilson. America needs to know this. Any black man without facial hair can't be trusted. If you meet a black man without facial hair, he cannot be trusted.
So says Deion Cole.
P.T. Barber, back in the day, none of them. You can't trust that. That's awkward. It's not right.
You
It
said
should
you
never
can't
happen.
trust a black man with no facial hair.
Does
With
Tiki
no facial
Barber
hair.
does Tiki Barber have a stash now? Did he?
No, he got
did
like
he?
a beard going now, but back in the day, he had the
Yeah.
boomty face.
Yeah.
And no grown black man should be walking around like that. That's unacceptable. But other than that, man, I thought free agency was like spectacular as
It's
it
fun,
always
ain't it?
is.
It's fun,
Oh,
ain't it?
it's just it's awesome, man. Like
It's
I love
fun,
it.
ain't it?
I love
All
it.
right, Akela.
Akela ain't got nothing to say. The
What your
Cowboys ain't
cow?
signed
Well, we
nobody.
gotta give it. She's got to give a grade. I mean, she could say F. You know, she could give them F
For the Cowboys? Is that what you're saying? I could give them an F?
if you want.
She's not gonna do it. She's
Why
too
would
loyal.
I ever do that? Why would I ever do that? I mean, it's
mean,
always
you
going to
know,
be an A plus.
We
Well,
just talked about
this
doing the
last
right
season-
thing. You know.
Yeah, this last season wasn't that great, but we did lose Tony Pollard. That kind of sucks, but
Was
it
that
was
really a
expected.
loss though?
Well, I think most people thought it would have happened last year, not this year. Well, I
But
wouldn't say
I
most
think
people.
Pollard
some
will be
people.
better
Yeah,
this
I'm
year.
not-
Because he's a year removed from that broken leg. I think he'll be better this year.
Mhm.
All right, I'll buy that. I think in the first year back, I can't look at it as a loss for y'all. San Fran looking great. I actually, it's not even my team. I'm most intrigued by the Bears.
Why?
2 picks that close together in the first round. I don't know. I think that's kind of dope. Like, I fell in love with the Raiders because of Bo Jackson and them when I was younger, so I kind of rock with that a little bit. But I live in Miami, so that's a whole, there's AFC teams. There's a weird feeling there. But I'm actually most intrigued by the Bears situation. I think they are prime to really come up based on how they handle the quarterback. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's the team with 2 trades in the top 10, right? 2 picks in the top 10, right?
Well, they got the first.
They got the first and the 9th pick.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well.
They got the first and the 9th pick, and the situation they're in, if they could ignore the I feel like they're in a situation where if they could ignore media pressure and pay attention to what their senses, their eyes are detecting, they could make the biggest leap here of anybody. Anybody. Especially with 2 picks in the top 10. And
I mean, the part with them, man, is I don't know what they're gonna do with Justin Fields.
So let me put that on y'all. If you were in Chicago's situation, Mo, Akela, Carlton, what would you do?
I would trade Justin Fields and I would draft Caleb Williams.
You're all in on Caleb.
It's not about just being all in. It's like, so Justin Fields, after his 5th year.
And also, how would you follow that up with the number 9 pick? Go ahead.
So the issue for the Bears is, to me, if you're a team, right? Because I agree with you, the Bears have some talent and they could add more talent in this draft. But the benefit of drafting Caleb Williams is I'm not comparing the players, is that I get to pay Caleb Williams as a rookie for the next 5 years, which allows me to build out the rest of the team. Whereas with Justin Fields next year, I'm going to have to pay him anywhere from $30 to $40 million. And I'm not sure I'm ready to invest $30 to $40 million.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
That's
my logic.
I understand that logic. How about y'all?
I agree with that logic.
Carlton hates Caleb Williams.
But so then I come
that makes it
to
spicier.
what's the opportunity with that number 1 draft pick, right? So to me, I think to Mo's point, having to pay Justin Fields, you do have to move on from him. But with the number of quarterbacks in the draft, with how Caleb Williams is perceived, they could move 1, 2, 3 slots, still get one of the top quarterbacks, and who knows what number of draft picks this year, next year, for giving up that number 1 slot. I saw something today say the Giants are calling people, seeing how they can get up into that top 3. So, to me, if they're not sold on Justin Fields at this point, if he's not clearly their guy, and I think the conversation suggests that he's not, then inevitably go ahead and move on. Ensure that you get one of them, top 1, 2, 3 quarterbacks in the draft. Add more draft capital to your kitty, and continue to expand your team, because I don't watch enough of the Bears football games to understand all of their issues. I know Justin Fields has put up some fantasy numbers. I know their running backs, when healthy, have put up some fantasy numbers. So I'm not sure what their needs, where all their needs are, but what they're up against in their division is now Jordan Love, and we have seen that he's about to be about that life. So you either gonna have to get better or continue to fall behind, because Green Bay is coming. If they're not there now, they're coming, and they have their quarterback, so they don't have to worry about that.
I mean, you didn't even mention the other team in their division that won it last year, Detroit. Detroit's not going anywhere.
Detroit, so
Detroit's not going anywhere.
Yeah, the Bears, they got to figure it out, or they're going to continue to just get what they've been getting. So, Akela, I'm gonna come back to you, because I don't know if I didn't hear a grade. You gonna stick with the A+?
Yeah. Let's just do that. I mean, we don't ever think we're ever gonna lose, but this last season just
what's the opposite of the Pelosi clap? What would be the opposite?
I don't know.
The
No
MTG, the MTG stare. You get the MTG look.
All the Republicans sitting down like this.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's it. That's it. That's what you get. You get.
Akela, right. You know what I'm gonna give you? I'm gonna do like buddy that got kicked out. Liar!
You lie. Yeah.
You lie.
I'm a fan to the end.
I love the passion.
That's fair.
I love the passion.
I respect it with a K. I respect it with a K. It's just unfortunate where it's directed. That's all. But I respect it with a K.
Really?
And to reach out to you about coming on the show, I did see that you checked on me on that season opener, so that's why you always gonna be one of my favorite people. You say, you okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah,
I saw you checked on me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, so that's what in the sports. Are you entertained? So entertain what you listening to. I was at the gym, and DMX Sean Paul's Top Shotter came on, and here comes the boom. Here comes the boom. So first it had me in my feelings because X is gone, but it reminded me, that's a jam. So I said, I wonder what my crew thinks, feels, perceives are some of the best collaborations that not just hip hop and R&B, but hip hop and hip hop, hip hop and R&B, R&B and R&B, hip hop, and in that case, what's Sean Paul? Sean Paul reggae? Craig, is he reggae or is he soca or something? Where does he fall? Reggaeton.
For everybody else, he's reggae. I've never really been a fan.
Okay. All right.
Craig don't like Sean Paul because he's light skinned. And he only has room in his heart for 2 light-skinned people, me and our producer.
That might be the most accurate thing you said all night, though.
You see the division, America? You see the division?
That's crazy. That's crazy. You did that math fast as hell.
So I posed the question to the group. When you reflect, we talk music all the time. It's a mainstay on the show. What are some of your favorite musical collaborations?
I got a bunch, so let me just throw one out there. The brain freeze came in just as quickly. Whitney Houston and Luther. I love a ballad. I'm a sucker for a ballad. Am I getting the name right? Whitney and Luther. I'm going off.
What's the song though? I
know Luther and Beyonce did that. They had their.
Yeah.
Hold up. Who am I thinking about Whitney with? I'm thinking about a Whitney collabo, and I drew a blank just that fast and I had it in my head. But
that's a good one.
I'm in that vein. I like those kind of collabos. Second to that, Off the Dome, I would think of, because for me, and most of the collabos on my list have to do with more love songs, even though some, you know what I mean? Sometimes it might be two dope MCs passing off the mic in a verse. I'll put, and this is kind of posthumous here, Lauryn Hill and the Bob Marley joint that was popping around 99-ish. I Want to Give You Some Love.
You gotta sing it. You gotta sing
You
it.
said Bob Marley and Lauryn Hill?
Yeah.
Turn
You're
Your
just too
Lights
good to-
Down Low.
Turn Your Lights Down Low.
yeah,
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah. That
Love
was a good.
Hey,
that
Carlton,
was,
don't
okay,
try to get me to sing. Don't do that to me, dog.
Reminds me of
Love
Yes
it.
I'll get
Man, because they
canceled for
played
that.
it in a movie. Yeah.
So that reminded me of Erykah Badu and one of Bob Marley's son on her album, Mama's Gun. Badu. I'll look it up.
I know
But that was
exactly what you're talking about.
That's
Let me
that's
look,
on
'cause
the
I
that's
don't
on
know
the
Erykah
that's
Badu
on the
singing.
I think is it Ziggy? Is her and Ziggy?
we gotta look, but that's on the Saturday
Mama's
night
Gun?
playlist. That's a mainstay
It
on
is
the
a
Saturday
great
night
song.
playlist.
It is very hard. Yeah. I didn't even think of that one. That was a great one.
All right,
That was very good.
so then for me, I don't not the first. It clearly couldn't have been
In
the
Love
first.
with You.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. That's a
Girl, I'm
nice.
in
That's
love with
Roman.
you. I'm in
Yeah,
love.
I told you go ahead and sing
That's
it,
a
Craig.
good one.
Go
Hey.
ahead and sing it, Craig.
Hey,
Sing
now
it.
I might be inclined to play
Sing it.
myself on something that's old school where there's still authentic, sincere, from the heart begging.
So
Like if you're gonna beg from the heart. Let's do it.
So I got two methods. The one he did with Mary J. Blige, "You All That I Need, I'll Be There for
That's
You,"
a
like
classic.
that.
Yeah,
Like the
that's a good
remix,
one.
the original, the
Right.
remix. Like to me, that's like hip hop platinum. Like
Mhm.
it was, Wu-Tang toughness, Mary J's, sultriness, but it was perfect collaboration to me. And then Wings of the Morning, Method Man and Capleton. Like that.
Wow.
That will forever be a classic in my world. Like I don't know what year that came out. I feel like I was still in high school somewhere.
The year still
1995.
started in 19.
Yeah, 1995. But like that's something that I love. Whenever that comes
Damn,
on,
I
it
forgot
just
about that
put me
song.
in my space. But yeah, that Wings of the Morning is fire. And that's like, what else? Outkast, Babyface. When Babyface hopped on Jazzy Bell, like that, to me, that solidified Outkast in that. I knew Babyface was behind them, but I thought it was more the love.
You didn't know
of the little
Babyface
face.
cussed.
I didn't.
You didn't know Babyface cussed. I bet you that.
Because when he said, "Straighten up your shit, I'll be with you," I was like, Babyface. Yeah, I got that single on CD somewhere in here.
Wow.
I need y'all to help me with a name because y'all brought another collab. Y'all triggered another collaboration for me. It's between Andre 3000 and an artist out of California. It was about maybe 4 to 6 years ago. He sings.
Not John Legend, because that was hot.
Yeah, that was
4
a
to
fire
6.
song. Actually, now you brought that. Andre 3000 and John Legend was a fire collabo.
That was hot.
Yeah.
That was. But this is a West Coast guy. I think he may have been playing piano on stage at the Dr. Dre Super Bowl performance. He has like a name with an AL. Oh my gosh.
Wasn't Frank Ocean?
We had to ask Chat GPT.
No, but more in that category, in that Frank Ocean kind of category. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God. I'm gonna obsess over this to come up. My bad.
Hey Siri, what is Craig talking about?
Siri don't know.
Find it now.
She don't know. So I see your wheels turning, Mo. What you got? What you come up with?
I love music. So I'll go to Miami first. Trick and CeeLo. In the Wind is one of my favorite collabs.
That's a good one.
Jay-Z and DMX on Money Cash Honeys. I love that song. DMX brings so much energy. Biggie and Bone, Notorious Thugs. I got an old one for y'all, man. Fantasy by Mariah Carey with the Old Dirty Bastard.
ODB. Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
and
That was
Mariah go
Yeah,
back
that's a
like
good one.
babies and pacifiers. Jay-Z and Kanye, Naysayers in Paris. Dre and Snoop ain't nothing but a G thing. Tupac and Scarface with Smile. Goody Mob and Outkast, Self Therapy.
Yeah.
Something a little different for you. Ed Sheeran and Beyonce's perfect duet is a beautiful song.
Do I know? I don't know that. I even know that one.
I've not heard that.
I don't know if I know that one.
Oh, you guys might want to check that out. It's a remix to his song, and Beyonce gets on there, and I think y'all thoroughly enjoy it. Only You, 112 with Biggie and Mace.
Throwback. Yeah.
The Roots and Erykah Badu. If you ever worry about when
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
My son Carlton, when I tell you your
That's a good
nephew
one.
loves that song and asks me to play it all the time, and he's bored.
That's a good one.
If I Ruled the World by Nas and Miss Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill getting a lot of shout outs.
Yes, she is.
Getting a lot of call outs.
Jay-Z and Maya,
Especially
Best of Me. On DJ.
That's how I know
hot.
summer's
It
here.
was hot. Yeah, that's the
How I know
summertime.
summer's here.
That's the
Craig,
summertime.
If I don't hear yes, y'all and
it's
Jigga
one
Man
of
be
those
balling.
tunes,
Is
when
it
the
summer?
summer hits, I always have to play that song, dog. Carolina Blue Kicks, I love it. Boys to Men and Mariah Carey.
Some of them be crawling.
Yeah.
Man, that was I can't
Boys
listen.
to
I
Men
had
and
to stop
Mariah
listening
Carey.
to that one. I had to stop listening to that one. That
Love
I
it.
lost too many people over
Oh,
the
yeah.
years, and that
Yeah.
one that song's no fun. It's beautifully done, but that one and Luther's Dance with My Father Again, I can't
Oh, I
do 'em.
can't.
I
Yeah, me
heard that
neither.
the other
day,
Me
yeah.
neither. Me
I can't
neither.
do it.
Total and Biggie, Can't You See?
Mhm.
UGK and Outkast, International Players Anthem.
Ooh.
You were talking about Babyface. Most people don't know Babyface and Casey and JoJo, and I forget who else was in it. They formed a little group for a while called Milestone, and they had a
Oh,
song
yeah.
called "I Care About You." I love that song.
Yeah.
Sam Smith and John Legend on Sam Smith's song, I thought was excellent. Hey man, John Legend, man, like Sam Smith has an amazing voice, but John Legend's voice is like on a different level. Like, so, and the last one I put down just out of the top, Eminem and Jay-Z. Eminem and Jay-Z on Jay-Z's album.
Yeah. That was so. You brought up Tupac. I add to the list Tupac and John B. Are You Still Down? That's on the Saturday night playlist. That's on the Saturday night playlist.
Well, my Tupac song is "Hit 'Em Up" by Tupac featuring the Outlaws. Now I probably listen to that a couple times a week.
But the reason
A
why
couple
I
times a week.
included-
Yeah.
Akela, the reason why I
Hey,
didn't include it,
You
because I
could hear
thought about it.
verses on that song that people chose to never respond to. I just want to say that. Go ahead.
The reason why I didn't include it is because I genuinely hate the Outlaws verses.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You just want
Genuinely
to get
hate
back
them
to
with a
Pac.
passion.
Yeah, you do.
Especially when Buddy says, from NW Jers, where plenty murders occur. Like, I hate the Outlaws.
You can't help who your friend. You gotta love your friends. He support his friend. So you got Hit 'Em Up on your list. I'm surprised at that, Akela Renae, but ain't no judgment.
yeah.
Just it's
I'm
aggressive.
deep in the streets. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's my favorite part. I promise I don't have TikTok, but I would love to do a TikTok with me rapping over Tupac.
I would also include, and I think Craig would appreciate this one, Common and Lauryn Hill's Retrospect for Life.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Common and Mary J, Come Close. Or Come Closer.
I mean,
Come close.
Common be Kevin in songs. Man, so.
Huh?
Common is my guy, man. Underappreciated, in my opinion.
I definitely agree with you on that. I want to shout out, like, there was eras where certain producers and MCs collaborated And like there was a little time in the early 2000s where if you put Dipset with Heat Makers, you got fired. You know what I'm saying? Dipset Heat Makers collaborations were running it, and I miss those kind of collabos. They make a different kind of music. A couple years ago, Harry Fraud went on a run right around the pandemic time, made a lot of albums with Griselda and their members, and I think also Freddie Gibbs. And those albums between Harry Fraud and them were fire, just like Heat Makers and Dipset in the early 2000s. It was energy music. You know what I'm saying? Like high energy music.
All right, who else on your list hit them up? Continue to
Lovers
surprise
and Friends.
us.
Lovers and Friends. Usher, Lil Jon, and all of them. If this world were mine,
I need to update my Saturday night playlist. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
If this world were mine, Luther and Cheryl Lynn.
If this world were mine, yeah, that's
Love in This Club, Usher and Beyonce.
How you feel about the remix?
The remix? If this world were mine, or what?
No,
Love in This
Club remix.
Have I heard?
Or were you thinking of the remix?
No, the old one.
Okay.
Yeah, the old one.
So I love that song, but when you really think about it, it's disgusting. Like the club is a disgusting place. I can't
live your life. Anytime, any place. Whose song was that? Anytime.
Janet Jackson.
Anytime. Live your life. Live your life.
Going back to Hit 'Em Up. Well, not really on them levels, but Silent Hill with Kendrick and I can't even think of the guy that sings it with him. And then Family Ties with Kendrick and Baby King. Those are the ones I've been listening to today.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, We Can't Be Friends, Deborah Cox and RL.
Woo!
Oh, that's a great song.
So producer, he busted in Janet. That was a good one.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Busted in Janet. Though that's a classic. You
can't be friends though.
Kendrick, I like that.
I'm sorry.
What's it? ASAP Rocky when he had Kendrick, Drake, and 2 Chainz. I love Bad Bees as my problem. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's fun.
one.
Everybody held their own on that one.
Sicko Mode with Drake and Travis.
Hey, no. Nitty, you right. Patty McDonald and
Patty
LaBelle and Michael McDonald.
Yeah, that's a good one.
On my own.
That's a good one. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Hey, why y'all going through soul and R&B here, man? Y'all gonna trigger me.
We just calling it out. Yeah. Well, what Mo said is safe place. So if the emotions come out, just let them come out.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody daughter getting a text.
I told y'all, man, I catch myself listening to this R&B a lot. I find it soothing to the soul, man. I love my R&B.
It is. And we've gotten away
new
from
R&B is too aggressive for me, though.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not love.
To the word.
No, we had songs where the dude was talking about, I'll give you the
platitude that Craig was talking about.
He was like, I'll give you the moon, the stars, the sun, and the sky.
Yep.
Now it's like, I'll choke you, bitch. Like, God dang. Not romantic.
Right.
Just think about, I think Last Night was written by As Yet, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Who's gonna praise it like that now? Think about Last Night.
You don't hang around long enough to praise it.
Who's praising it like that now?
You don't hang along long enough to praise it. Gotta keep it moving.
Next.
Gotta keep it moving. All right, so that's a good list. So our listeners will be appreciative because they got some stuff to go re-listen to. Because that Patti LaBelle, Michael McDonald, boy, woo!
Yeah, I'm on my own.
That's hot.
The 80s duets hit different though.
Yeah, they do. Oh, what about 80s? Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, The Girl Is Mine. Can't sleep on it. Cannot sleep on it. That is a musical masterpiece, in my opinion.
Okay, Mo, you don't say it on me.
Oh, you don't
You
listen to
go
Mike?
ahead, dog.
He off limits.
Hey,
Michael
dog,
Jackson
I
off
ain't gonna.
limits.
Hey, there was a stretch of time where
He off limits.
that song was comedy to me, bro. Because I didn't believe that either of those dudes is going after women.
But the
Talking about the girl
4-year-old,
line.
the
All right.
5-year-old me,
We don't
Craig
believe
said,
you.
I
Craig,
can't
Craig
delineate.
said
What?
Puffy had it on in the background with me.
Take that. All right, well, listen. What you
Oh my
said,
God.
Craig. We go back to flip flops and socks. Y'all not gonna hurt my feelings, and that's fine. But Michael Jackson,
Look,
Paul
I'm
McCartney.
just saying that particular song it hit different because I was at an
Oh.
age when that came out where I
You know what
started to
duet I
question: are
like,
both these dudes after women anyway? Talk about the girl's mind.
Paul McCartney,
You
because he got caught up with the prenup. Big Boy told about it. Big Boy talked about it at the end of Players Ball.
Oh, Doc, another duet that I absolutely love is Unforgettable by Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole.
Oh yeah,
that's
by
a good
father and
one.
daughter. They
That's
did
a
that
good
well.
one.
I
They
love
did
it,
that
dog.
well.
Yeah. that's
Rest
a
in
good one.
peace. Rest in peace.
To both
All right.
of them.
All right. Well, what y'all been watching?
The
I've
Y
been
Files.
catching up. The what?
Go ahead, Akela.
I've been catching up on my DVR. So it's Law and Order, all the Chicago shows. But what I really like that just started was Will Trent. It's good.
You like
It's a
that?
detective.
Will Trent is good?
Yeah. He doesn't know how to read, but he's a detective, right? And so he finds ways to get other people to tell him what is on the sheet of paper. So he won't ever do his files or anything like that because he didn't learn how to read. He doesn't have a regular phone. He has a flip phone that he can just dial the numbers, and he does voice recordings for his notes. But I love it. It's good. It's set in Atlanta. I like
That sounds very Amish. I like it.
it.
Yeah, I see the commercials. The fact that it gets publicized and pushed how it does, it seemed like it appears that people like it. I have not watched the episode. I can't say that I will. I don't make it to that Law and Order Chicago show stuff. Once I left Grey's Anatomy, 15 years ago, to my shock, it's still going. I don't catch
comes
too
on
many
tomorrow,
of
I
those.
think. I think it comes on tomorrow. Premieres
That's
tomorrow.
where you watching Grey's Law and Order is an all-time classic. We will not speak badly about Law and Order anyway.
I'm not hating. I just don't.
Not on
I
Beyonce's
don't
internet.
get to them. I don't get.
I
to
watch
them.
it all the time. Well, I record it, so my DVR is pretty full. But on the weekends is when I
All
have
right,
time.
so you getting caught up. You said what you been watching, Craig? You start what?
Craig ain't got no TV.
It's more on the YouTube wormhole. It's a channel. The logo has a WF. I believe it's the YWHY files. And the gentleman, he does his research and investigation into various things and presents it in a story format. And at the very end, point by point, he'll either debunk or say, or whether it's cap or otherwise, true or otherwise, go through each of the points based on his research and experience. So he goes into everything from the Nazca lines to assassinations to Anunnaki stuff and whatever. So I've been kind of in that little vibe on that channel more recently as far as consumption. And then in concert with that, I've been looking up a lot of I've been consuming a lot of do-it-yourself woodworking videos. Outside of that, if it's actually for entertainment, all I'll be saying is that I'm seeing somebody. I don't watch anything outside of sports and what I just mentioned unless I'm seeing somebody.
You doing the woodwork? You making her a keychain? What you doing?
Actually, I want to make a chessboard. So between the woodwork and the playing with resin, epoxy, whatever, I want to make chessboards.
That'd be live.
Just ventilate, have your windows open.
Yeah, I heard. That's not a buzz I want, bro. I'm good. Yeah, you're
no,
right.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna be
you
on the
a
patio.
little bit.
I'm gonna be
All
on
right,
the patio with that. That's not the buzz I want.
Uncle Mo, you caught up on Criminal Minds? What you
watched
been
every
watching?
episode of Criminal Minds, all 17 seasons I've
All
watched.
right, so
Wow.
you can you can go catch the killers now. They just need to holler at you.
There's an 18th season, dog. I'm eagerly anticipating the 18th season. I can't wait. What else have I been watching, man? Because Criminal Minds is gone. I've tried to fill that in with a show called FBI. I started watching that. I watched 2 documentaries, one on the day Lincoln died and another one on JFK's assassination. Stuff like that just fascinates me. And I've been watching basketball, man. I just watched the Nuggets beat the Heat and the Magic won. So we're staying above the Heat in this race for the 4 seed.
The Heat have
I've been
lost
watching basketball
4 in a row. They have lost 4 in a row.
Yeah, man. But once you have a kid, man, he's got a lot of activities and stuff. You end up watching a lot of Bluey and shit like that, and just going to his activities. Bluey's good, man.
What's
Bluey is a solid cartoon. Dude.
I'm over that. I had Blue's Clues. What's Bluey?
Bluey. So Bluey it's an Australian cartoon, and it's the main character is Bluey. There's a mom, a dad, and 2 characters, Bluey and Bluey's sister. But what I like about this show is you assume, when I tell you the name is Bluey, you assume Bluey's what gender?
A boy.
But she's a girl. And her name is Bluey, and the dad is Blue. So they try to make you think that it is a boy, but it's like almost like telling the little kids, don't be sexist. Bluey could be a girl too. So it's not like they're not making a political agenda. It's just, she's a girl. And so, that show has a lot of like lessons. It's typical cartoon to teach the kids some morals. So I sit down and watch that with my son a lot. Yeah, man, like it's entertaining too. It's well written. So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
I tell mine on a regular basis. I'm highly disappointed in him as he's matured. He no longer watches Teen Titans. So I'm not able to get my Teen Titans in how I used to. But we evolve with the kids. So I myself watched the Oscars most recently. I tuned in for the slap. I didn't tune in for the slap, but I tuned in for the uniqueness of the show where the slap occurred. But it's not something I typically watch. In particular, I don't watch any of the award shows too much anymore. But was in the space, sat down, and I was impressed. I was impressed. I thought I'd only watched one of the movies that was up for any significant number of awards. That was The Leftovers, and shout out to the supporting actress that she won supporting actress from that movie. Holdovers.
What is it about?
Christmas. So that's how I caught it. I was looking for Christmas stuff. It was in the Christmas category, and so it's a boarding school, and some of the kids, for whatever reason, don't make it home over the holidays. One of their main instructors, he tends to be to himself by himself. So he was there. He got tasked with being the holdover teacher to make sure the kids are safe and cared for till school comes back in. And so it was well done. It not a lot of adventure, not a lot of action, but it was quality acting, hence the supporting actress award. So I saw that one. Didn't see.
Do you know what the other movies were that were up for the award? I know Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer was the darling of the show. Barbie was up.
Barbie was up for best
people
picture.
like Barbie. People like Barbie, man. People like Barbie.
Can I ask a question for survey's sake?
Go ahead.
In the last 12 months, how many times have each of you gone and sat inside a movie theater to watch a movie?
It's the wrong question to ask me, brother. I love going to the movies. So
is it more than 12?
No.
The reason why it's not as often as previously, Craig, is because I have a 4-year-old. So he's not going to be able to sit through 3 hours of Oppenheimer. But whenever there's a kids movie, we still go. If we can find a babysitter and it's a big movie, we definitely go. Man, there's just something I love about it, Craig. Like something I love about the big screen with the popcorn and the layers of butter in the popcorn and sneaking the candy into the movie theater. Like I just
So would you
I
say
love
there's
everything
a
about the
ceremonial
nostalgia
aspect
of
to
going
this?
to movies. Huh?
Mo, would you say there's a ceremonial aspect to it for you?
Yeah, there's a nostalgia. There's definitely like
Okay.
that is one of the big, like, I just love it, man. Like there's nothing better to me than when there's a blockbuster movie that comes out and the theater's packed and everyone's like excited to see it. I love that atmosphere, dog.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll go
see,
for
I'm
a
a grumpy old man.
blockbuster.
I'm gonna go during the matinee when nobody's there. Maybe
I'll
2 weeks
go.
after it ain't popping no more.
Yeah,
I like going at night. I love it, man. I love it.
Really?
like I think I saw Mission Impossible, Spider-Man. Those might be the last ones in 2023 that I saw in the theater. But if it's blockbuster, if it's action, it has to kind of be visually
So would you say 5,
appealing.
Carlton? 5
Last
times in
year,
the
the,
last
last year
goes
the
to the
count was
movies.
down. Yeah, last year the count was down. But it wasn't 12. I'm inclined to think it was more than 5. I mean, I'm gonna go see Godzilla King Kong. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my
That
god,
come out the end of the month.
I
movie
only
looks
saw,
like
I
trash.
can only remember seeing 2 movies
Last
last
year?
year. One was Aquaman because I went with my godson,
Trash.
and I fell asleep a little bit. I didn't see the first one. I'm not into those kind of movies, but I didn't see the first one. And then I saw The Color Purple. That's all I can really remember. But I wanted to go see American Fiction. I was gonna go a couple weeks ago, and it was like only showing at a couple of theaters. Like I like stuff like that.
But Craig, I would say the reason why I didn't get out to more movies also last year is just I didn't think there was a lot of quality movies that came out. Like the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales shit is something you have to see on the big screen. Like it's so well done, Carlton. It's so well done.
I'm told Doom 2 is a must see in the big screen. Rewatch Doom 1 so you remember what happened.
I never
and then
saw
I
go
that.
can't wait till
Doom
you go
2.
see this King Kong versus Godzilla and you're disappointed.
Oh, I'm going. No,
I know you're going.
I know what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but I love Godzilla and almost love King Kong. I love Godzilla. Godzilla -1 was actually, they won an award, I think, for set design or visuals or that effect. It's not even available in the US. And I'm agitated to no ends about that, because to see the trailers for it, it looks amazing. But I'm a big Godzilla fan. So you asked the question, the movies nominated were American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, that had Leo DiCaprio, and Robert De Niro. So that you got to see that. Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives. I saw that. I saw that on the plane. That was good. That was quality film. Not something I would go to the theaters to see. Poor Things, where your girl won Best Actress, and then Zone of Interest. My understanding had something to do with Holocaust and that nature. So
The only movie
not a
I've
lot
seen
of
on that list
bangers.
is Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I saw Past Lives and The Holdovers, but I want to see American Fiction. I'm gonna go ahead and see Maestro. I'm gonna see Killers of the Moon. So Killers of the Flower Moon. So it's stuff in there, but to my point, in watching the Oscars, I don't remember what last year's show was like. The one before that is where Will Smith revealed that he had lost his mind already. I just thought it was a quality opposite of MTG, classy show. I know Jimmy Kimmel got some criticisms. He wasn't as exciting or he wasn't as funny. But I thought in hosting a show, keeping it moving, keeping us engaged, he did a great job. He even called Trump tweeted or Trump because it was his own truth. He commented on Kimmel's hosting, and Kimmel was able to respond to him in live during the show. So I thought that was his highlight for me.
Mhm.
But the other thing that it did for me is it kind of encouraged me to go see these movies, because I think to see the clips of it, the actors, actresses up for best supporting their different roles, it looked like, you know, it meant a lot to a lot of people. So I'm intrigued to see what they did. I think I'm gonna even go see. I'm gonna see Barbie, not go see. I'm gonna see Barbie, see what they talk about. Look like a lot of pink. Look like a lot of pink, but I can get through it.
When I was in England, I forgot this too. I also watched The Godfather 1 and 2, man. They're so good.
Mhm.
Not The Godfather. Yeah, The Godfather 1 and 2. Just
Yeah.
Classic.
young Bobby De Niro, young Al
Classic.
Pacino, man.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, Fredo. That
Just-
kiss when he kissed Fredo, man. That Fredo.
Yeah.
Fredo.
So when
Mhm.
he looked at Buddy and said, "Nothing is to happen to Fredo until my mother dies," I was like, "Oh, Fredo's dead.
He's out of here.
Fredo's
Outta here.
gonna die."
Fredo.
The hell is
Fredo's
Fredo
that's-
thinking? You don't go into the middle of the ocean with his boy by yourself with your back turned.
he knew. I think he knew.
Yeah.
He knew he
On
was not
some
getting
level.
out of that. He knew he
Yeah.
wasn't getting out of
Right.
that.
Right.
All right. All right. So before we get up out of here, what have you all been reading? Akela Renae, I'll start with you.
I read a lot. I read a lot of books. So I just finished this book called Grace. I like historical fiction, and I give it a 7 out of 10. It's not
Okay.
necessarily a slave narrative, but it kind of is. But it had me questioning the legitimacy of it. So, you know, it's set in the 1800s, right as the Emancipation was signed. But a lot of things that they were saying in the book, I'm like, did that really happen in the 1800s? It sounds more like 1900. When I read for not necessarily for the story's sake, but more so how the writer is writing the story. And that I can't get out of that because I am a writer. But what I'm listening to right now is Black Girls Must Be Magic. It's a fiction book, and it's just about this girl's journey of trying to be a mother and be single at the same time. So that's what I'm reading. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Brother Craig, what say you? What you read?
You don't read.
I hesitate to articulate for fear that I might deviate from the true course of rectitude, which is unbecoming of a Phi Beta Sigma man.
Okay.
And the answer is
I ain't read none.
I told you. I know my dog.
Look,
And he
I
said
could
that
go
because he
through
don't
the.
want to feel Carlton's wrath.
No, it's cliche. Like, okay, so like I do this thing where if I'm true to my devotion and I'm on my morning routine, whatever the date is, I'll read the Proverbs for that date. Like, so if it's the 28th, I'll read Proverbs 28. But like some days I miss it, and
you're off your
I don't.
routine.
That's not. I don't. I sincerely cannot count that as reading. That's just a part of my meditation. So
That's reading, dog.
It counts. But that's all right. We'll move on. You know, I should knight you later. Uncle Mo.
I want to get into something that I saw, man. I was attending some presentations, and I got to see a presentation, and I wish I could remember her name. I have her email somewhere, actually. And the lady that was doing the presentation, she was excellent, and she was talking about the emotions that we express facially. And she was saying there's
facially?
facially, with our face.
Okay.
So she was saying there's 6, 7 main ones. There's disgust, anger, happiness, sadness. I forget what the other ones were. Surprise, whether good or bad. And she made a point, man, that highlighted something that I've always believed. A lot of people about segregation and the pitfalls of segregation. She was saying, what face do you know best? And the answer is your face. You know your face best. So when people are segregated, what tends to happen is they only see their face. They only see the faces of people that look like them. So they're able to read the expressions of people that look like them quickly, just like that. But when they run up on a person that is black, for instance, and because they've been segregated from black people or haven't been around black people, when they see their facial expressions, they look and they say, oh, he's angry, which automatically causes a certain fear in them. And it just made me think about like the police, man. Like when the police run up on black people and they are not able to decipher what the facial expressions are conveying, it strikes this fear of them in them that leads them to act in a manner that they don't act with when they are interacting with people that look like them. So I thought her presentation was fascinating.
I love that.
Yeah, I just something like, I never, it was just something that I never thought about until she brought it up, Craig. And I was just sitting there like, just absolutely fascinated with her presentation and what she said. And when you think about it, though, it is true. It is true.
I
She
love
was
it.
like, she's not black. She was Hispanic. And she was just like, that's why when white people see black males in particular, they misconstrue their facial expressions into something that it's not, which causes them to fear that person because it triggers, when you think someone's angry, it causes a fear in you because you might believe that hostility is towards you. So I just thought her presentation was she's a
You just
professor.
explained my work environment.
Yeah, she's a professor at Harvard, man. And, she presented this in a room of predominantly white people. And I also got a kick out of seeing their reaction to what she said.
Yeah, I might follow up on that. That has piqued my interest. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow up with her. I have her email. I will get you guys her name. And she talked about the emotional beings that we are and how emotions play a part in all the decisions that we make in life. This is just one of those presentations where at the end I just had to go shake her hand, and I was fortunate enough that she talked with me for another 10 minutes, and just I thought it was very thought provoking and very insightful, man.
Look, as a dude that works in a female dominated environment, and especially dominated based on my location with females out of my culture and subculture and ethnicity and the other socially created constructs, like you just embodied my whole professional. You embodied this past Tuesday morning with that, bro. Like I learned this Tuesday morning, and I speaking of the devotional, that was something I wrote Tuesday morning, and I remembered after you said that, man. Look, I'm just realizing that to some people, my disappointment, what I'm authentically experiencing as disappointment, from their lenses, it presents to them, or they receive it as upset or angry. No, I just thought you were smarter. I'm disappointed.
But she would argue that it's not an intelligence thing. It's that they are not used to people that don't have faces that are similar to theirs.
Wow.
And clearly my face said, "Oh, Mr. Lindo's upset." No, Mr. Lindo thought you were dumb. Like I was disappointed in your execution
and Craig,
based on your resume. It was disappointment, but they interpreted it as anger. And now I'm just waiting to see if I'm gonna get an email from our HR department, aka Talent and Acquisition.
And, so I would also like to, because Craig, I definitely 1,000% feel you, but I would like to ask Akela, because my mind when I went to the presentation, she said with black males, I was like, is this how the black woman gets the rap of being the angry woman? Because people are misconstruing her facial expressions, or they're reading the body language in an incorrect manner that they get this unfair rap?
I would say so. I mean, as one that has many facial expressions that people take pictures of me when I'm not paying attention. Like my mind is totally somewhere else. And my facial expression has nothing to do with anything you just said because I'm thinking about something else. But I get that. I personally get that a lot about my facial expressions. And I do sometimes have resting bitch face because I'm thinking about something else. I'm not, even though, like I was in a half-day meeting today. Now I gave the presenter my ugly face because I was ready for him to be done and I was over his presentation. So he got that genuinely today.
Can you do it for us? Can you do it on cue?
It was more my eyebrow was raised for sure. Yeah.
All right.
But
I'll take it back.
But
Yeah, you
yes,
gonna
I
get
think
no
I think you're absolutely right, Mo. I think you're absolutely right. Where, I could be totally fine, but my face says something, my face betrays me, and it's something that if I'm not looking at myself in the mirror, I don't know how I look, right? But it
I
conveys
just
something
think
totally different.
when you avoid a group of people that don't look like you, one, it creates a lack of empathy because you're unaware of the situations that they experience. And two, it does lead to confusion when it comes to body language, which makes me think like this is probably a problem in policing that needs to be addressed.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when they run up on young Black males or Black people in general, there's a misunderstanding just by the way our faces look.
Yeah.
Like off
Right.
rip, before anything has happened, there is an inherent fear that goes through their body that triggers a reaction that's not positive for anybody.
I would wager to say you might see a version of this in your classroom too, right? Because even if it's something as asking for a bathroom pass, there are certain kids that are going to come up to me, get mush mouth, eyes to the ground, and when they're asking for the bathroom pass. You know what I'm saying? And then there's going to be another kid, same age, walk up to me, hey, I got to piss. Some kids are just, they're fruit ripens at different rates. You know what I mean? And yes, it's influenced by factors like just get away from by what we just discussed. So I feel like we run into a version of that in the classroom where I think the course or the curriculum leaders or the teachers or whoever, when they're trying to manage their classrooms, might misread certain things. That kid is not rude. That kid is not rude that told you, yo, I gotta piss. He's just not so soft that he thinks he has to kiss your behind for a pass. He's just not a candy yam. Like, and maybe he might have not gotten some certain etiquette training, but you know what I mean? Like, you or whatever. But oftentimes I do think, and I think that might play a dynamic in, yes, policing, but also in education.
Craig reaching deep into that composition book today. We got candy yams.
Candy
We got
yam. I'm gonna have to use
I'm pretty
that.
sure he gave Carlton that 2 rabbits you get none thing. Craig is reaching deep.
I didn't write that bar. That was all
you get
CI.
none thing, man. I'm pretty sure Craig told me when I was in college, like the more you ask, one of them's eventually got to say yes. I believe that was Craig. Like someone's got to say yes.
Right. That's now we diving back into shame, right? Right.
Someone's got to say yes.
More. So thank you all for that. Thank you for sharing that, boy. And hey, let's get on the show one day.
This lady's phenomenal. I love it.
But so my ad is actually a reread, Untethered Soul, by Michael Singer, who is a Gator. He's still out there in Gainesville. And so this is, with, I got some things brewing with my coaching practice, some things that I'm going to be offering to folks. And so I said I needed to revisit consciousness for language and discussion purposes. And what he takes you on is it's a short book, but what he really is intending to help us understand is, there is us in mind, there's us in body, there's us in spirit, and we are all of those things, and at the same time none of those things that we tend to identify with. And in those identifications, we attach to things that, my words, don't serve us. So often, if you have an encounter, you have an experience, your mind says, hit them up. First off, what the Tupac is playing in your mind. But and if you act on that emotion and thought, you're going to get an outcome that aligns with that. So in the pursuits of happiness that many of us undertake, if we have an experience and allow for the energy to present, because somebody cut you off in traffic, somebody step on your pinky toe, somebody misinterpret your facial expression and come at you crazy with it, you are right to feel what you feel, but the feeling doesn't have to dictate your action and your response. And so if you allow the energy, if you allow the energy to flow through you, if you allow the energy to dissipate and go through the pain yourself, because it's not just anger, it's sadness, it's disappointment, it's frustration with self, with others, with your partner, with your spouse, with your family member, however it may go. But if you, his recommendation, meditate and allow the energy to dissipate, not only do you rise above in that moment and give a better response, a deserved but better response, you allow yourself the opportunity to no longer have to be victim to that thing. Because one of the things he emphasizes that we tend to do is we all have these thorns, nature and nurture. We have that thing, that buzzer. The one thing I can't stand, or if a mofo try me, or what I will never let somebody do to me, right? Whatever that is, fill in the blank. Those are thorns. So in whatever relationship, whatever partnership that you enter, it's that now you've made it that person's job to avoid that thorn. Sure. And you do all sorts of things to prevent that thorn from being triggered, when if you allow yourself the time, allow yourself the patience, and allow yourself the journey, you just pull it out. And the more you remove your thorns, the closer you get to your truest self, your truest nature. Healed. And then allow yourself to experience life's joys more frequently. So it's deep, and it's reread, because to read it one time, you ain't gonna get it. To read it two times, you ain't gonna get it.
I love that book.
It takes time to really to go through it. So yeah, thank you. Sign off on that, Brother Craig. And on that, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Unsolicited Genius. As always, do not forget to like, subscribe, and follow. We are everywhere for all that to occur. Instagram, TikTok, while it is still legal. We're on LinkedIn as individuals and buttoned up professionals, and YouTube. If you're watching us, we're on YouTube. Shout out to the super producer, Joe Nitty. Thank you as always for making us look and sound better than we do in virtual life. Thank you to our sponsors, Legacy Wear, where your legacy awaits. Find out more about them and the products they sell at www.legacywearus.com. Megacore CBD, broad spectrum hemp derived CBD, the way nature intended. Visit them, learn more about them at www.megacorecbd.com. Aura Rainwater, hydrate and elevate. Learn more about what they do, what they market, and their product at www.aurarainwater.com. And Carlton Ennis Coaching, where I like to let people know, be your light. Find out more about him and what he do, how he do what he do at www.carltoninnsco, carltonennisco.com. Akela Renae,
Yes.
you made it through an unsolicited genius show.
And I can check the box. I did it.
Shout
Thank
out-
y'all for having
shout
me.
out
Thank
to
you, thank
you.
you, thank you.
Shout
Yes,
out
Oh, it
to
was our
this
pleasure,
was
man.
fun.
joining the
Thank
crew.
you for making time for us.
All
Yes,
right, so
absolutely.
before we let you out officially, any shout outs that you want to give?
To y'all for having me on the show. You know, it's been a while since I've been on a podcast. So yeah, thank y'all very much.
Yeah, shout out to your podcast. Tell her you got some other stuff. You know, it's been a
Yes.
minute, but you got some stuff out there. You got some stuff coming. So tell us your podcast.
I'm the host of She, Her, and Me podcast, where we talk about all things women. And so I have a couple of new episodes coming out this month for Women's History Month. And so I'm very, very excited to get back to it, get back on the mic and talk. And so this was just a catalyst to get me started. So thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mhm.
Uncle Mo, shout out.
Shout out Joe Nitty, man. You always know I shout out our boy, the super producer. Happy 50th birthday to Fox. You know who you are, man. I hope you had a blessed day. Happy belated International Women's Day to Akela and all the lovely ladies out there that are doing their thing. Happy birthday to our boy Craig, man. I hope you had a wonderful day, and here's to many more. Carlton and his coaching, man. I highly recommend it for the people, man. Like my boy puts his I'm gonna brag on my boy here for a second. My boy puts his passion into everything he does, and he truly, genuinely cares about the people. So yeah, I should definitely check my boy out. He's got the goods for you, and it's not like he's not like the lady in the kitchen. Like he's his own authentic self that truly wants to help all people of all races, genders. It doesn't matter. He's invested in people finding their happiness mentally. So shout out to Carlton and his coaching. Other than that, man, I ain't got nothing. Love the people. That's all.
Brother Craig, who you gonna shout out? The candy yams. No.
If they got the brown sugar on it, this brown sugar with the candy yams. Shout out LL, great line. One time for the Roundaway girls. My inbox is open. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just. Yo, sure. First,
didn't I tell you? He told me if you ask, somebody's gonna say yes eventually. Just keep trying. Just keep trying.
I'm gonna triple down on the Carlton. It is coaching. Genuinely there for that purpose. And yes, I cheat because I've known the brother since the calendar year started in 19. So I be pressing him for pro bono coaching. And your discount is not my discount, but you should hit my boy up. All right.
Much appreciate it.
Two, I've come to realize that my students be looking me up on all formats and all names. And even though they have a learning management system loaded onto their laptops, they find all of my socials and other things, which are not. So if y'all found me, shout out to y'all, but go in Canvas and do your damn homework.
God damn.
Dang, teacher. Dang, teach.
All right,
Oh,
you
man,
enjoyed the
just-
podcast. Go open Canvas and do your homework. You got an assignment. I just put it in there.
Woo.
Thank you again to our guest this evening, man. Akela, it was a
Love you.
pleasure. It was truly a pleasure, man.
Thank you for having
We
me. I
definitely
appreciate
got
Yeah,
to
shout out
do it
to you,
again.
Queen.
We got to
Yeah,
do it
thank you.
again. All right.
I'd love to.
So thank y'all. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you, Akela, for blessing us with your voice, your presence, and for those watching on YouTube, your lovely face. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Word on the street is too much mail, and so you despite your cowboy ties, you are welcome here forever. All right, so before we get out of here, finally, thoughts of genius, and I go back to where we started. Authenticity matters. You are who you are. That is why you are here. You didn't come to be like me. You didn't come to be like Mike, any of the Mikes. You didn't come to be subservient to any other human being. You are here because there is something that you have to offer this planet, be it expensive, inexpensive, be it large on a scale of 300 million social media followers, be it the PTA at your child's school. Whatever the scale, whatever the location, whatever the call, you have a purpose. You have a reason for being here. And so as much as the internets, as the workplace colleagues, as the person who you've pledged to give your life to may tell you, you need to be different, you need to change, you need to show up like this. What I offer is you need to be you. And how you know who you are is in your chest. It's in your heart. You know when you were misaligned. You know when you're being called to do and be something different that doesn't feel good. You know, politicians, when you've sold your soul. The good news, at any point in time, when you find that you are not being your most authentic self, you can stop what you're doing and be your most authentic self. So, however you receive this message, be it on Apple, be it on YouTube, and as much as they give us a hard time, Spotify for the a couple of y'all, when you hear this, know that in the immediate next moment, you have a choice. And if you don't know what to do, listen to your heart, because that is where the truest you exists. And on that, join us next week, same Genius time, same Genius channel. And for whenever you are, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Craig D, Molat. You are listening to Unsolicited Genius.